Hi everyone and welcome. In this video, we'll explore how to best prepare for your next interview. And be sure to stay around until the end for an important tip that most people forget to consider. It's a small step that can have a big payoff. So let's begin. First up, approach research with a big to small mindset. Okay, so what do I mean by this? Well, one mistake people can make during the research stage is to focus only on big concepts like the company or on small details like the job description or who is interviewing you. The truth is, good research asks you to explore both and everything in between. This is a great way to begin interview preparation because it will ultimately give you the context to connect your skills and experience to the goals and values of the company. Let's break down what you should be looking for when researching. It's a best practice to research the company, the job description, and the interviewer. If researching a company is new to you, start by allotting 30 minutes of your time for each category. Begin your research by starting with the largest concept, the company. When researching the company, it's helpful to review multiple sources. Start your research by visiting the company's website to review their About Us and product or service offerings page to learn about their mission and values. You know you have conducted a good research when you can successfully speak to how one of your personal values aligns with the value of the company or how your skill sets would support or even better enhance the services they offer to customers. Once you've heard about the company from its own perspective, do some research about what others say about it. Company pages on Indeed.com is a good place to find reviews from current and former employees about what's it like to work at hundreds of companies. If you click on our link, you can see posts about what the interview process is like and check our photos and videos from the company's social media channels. You can highlight this research during the interview by aligning company's goals with your personal goals. For example, if you see that the company is active in the community, mention how this aligns with your desire to work with a community-focused organization when asked, why do you want to work here? Next, review the job description. When reviewing the job description, your goal is to gain a better understanding of the requirements and responsibilities of the position. This will ensure that you can articulate how and why are you qualified for the role. Use the information you find in the job description to help you prepare for questions asked to qualify your skills. Check out the requirements for the role and then brainstorm some possible questions the interviewer may ask you. Think, if I were looking for a candidate for this role, then what would I ask? Then consider how you may answer that question. It can help to think of past examples from your work experience that demonstrate the required skills and then practice sharing them succinctly. I'll go more in depth on how to do that later in this video. Now, you'll want to get in depth with your research by doing a quick search for the person or people who will be conducting the interview. To find out who will be interviewing you, first look if the information is included within the calendar invite for the interview or within the email confirmation sent by the recruiter. If your interview has already been scheduled and you don't have this information, it's completely appropriate to email the recruiter or hiring manager and ask if they are able to provide the name of the person you'll be meeting with. When researching your interviewer, focus on reviewing their professional journey to see how they achieved their level of success and find similarities in your background, experience, and interest. Check out professional sources like the company website to see if they have public-facing employee profile or professional social media sites. This research will pay off when you can bring up commonalities during the casual talk or when it feels appropriate during the interview. Highlighting your similarities can help to strengthen the human connection and create a positive feeling in relation with your interviewer. After conducting your research, the next step in preparing for an interview is to begin practicing answers to common interview questions. You'll want to practice a variety of questions, including general, behavioral, situational, and if applicable, technical questions that pertain to your industry. One of the first questions that you can expect to be asked during an interview is, tell me about yourself. This is your opportunity to provide a 2 to 3 sentence professional summary of how you got to where you are today and where you are looking to go. Once you can succinctly share who you are as a professional, it's smart to practice some common behavioral-based interview questions. Not sure what a behavioral-based interview question is? If you are asked a question that begins with, tell me about a time or give me an example of when you've just been asked one. The purpose of this type of question is to gain an understanding of your experience in specific situation and how you've behaved. When answering a behavioral-based interview question, one of the best strategies for formatting your answer is using the STAR method. STAR stands for situation, task, action, result. This format sets you up to tell a complete and a clear story while still getting to the point. Other common questions to practice answering include what is your greatest strength or why do you want to work for this company? Your goal when answering is to sell yourself by sharing the most positive and relevant experiences from your work history. An interview is not the time to be modest about sharing your accomplishments. Your potential employer wants to know why you are the right fit and that you can deliver something to the company. So give strong examples of how you have been able to deliver results in the past. In addition to some of these more straightforward interview questions, be prepared to answer a few higher pressure questions. Try to think of things that you'd be uncomfortable being asked and prepare them. Some common high pressure questions you can prepare for include explaining a gap on your resume if you have any, sharing why you're switching industries or what pushed you to leave your current company, or even being asked to provide your salary expectations. These questions intimidate almost everyone, but they don't have to throw you off if you've properly prepared for answering them. And lastly, practice what you'll say when you feel like you are at a loss for words. This happens to all of us, and it's easy to keep the interview on track by asking for some time to think. Practice saying, like, that's a great question. Let me think about that for a moment. Take the time to gather your thoughts before sharing your answer. A momentary pause is a powerful tool to stay in control and feel confident about how you're going to answer the question. Before I move to the next tip, let me know if this video is helpful by liking and subscribing for more advice. Okay, once you're prepared to answer questions directed to you, take a moment to prepare questions that you can ask in return. When there's about 5 to 10 minutes remaining at the end of an interview, the interviewer will most likely ask if you have any questions for them. So it's smart to come prepared with 2 to 3 questions that will help you learn more about what it is like working for the company. For example, you can ask, what does a typical day like for someone in this role looks like? Or how is performance measured in this role? If you're finding it difficult to think of questions, then just ask yourself, what would I need to know if I was starting this job tomorrow? An additional benefit to asking questions during the interview is that it allows you to clarify any concerns you might have about if the role or company would be a good fit for you. As a general rule, keep your questions professional and focused on the company and the position. Once you've prepared for what you'll say in the interview, you can consider how you will present yourself as the best possible candidate for the role. And that includes focusing on details like clothing, punctuality, and interviewing materials. In terms of attire, look for clues on how employees are dressing when you are conducting your research on the company website and plan to dress one step above that. As a best practice, choose business casual attire. Next plan is to be on time. This can be easier said than done, but the key is to expect the unexpected. For example, if you're participating in a video interview, test your audio, video, and microphone equipment the day before to solve any potential issues. If your interview is on site at the company, aim to arrive at least 15 minutes before the start time. And finally, come to the interview prepared with the materials you have in order to be successful. This can include printing extra copies of your resume to have on hand or bringing a pen and notebook to take notes. Now it's time to put your preparation to the test by conducting a mock interview. A mock interview is a great tool to help you feel more prepared for a job interview because it allows you to practice your responses and get feedback about how you can make your interview stronger. Ideal mock interviewers are career coaches or professional in your field, but anyone can be a mock interviewer as long as they have a list of related interview questions and are willing to provide you an honest feedback about how to improve. So to take your mock interview to the next level, mimic the interview environment as much as possible. And this includes dressing in the clothing you would wear the day of your actual interview, bringing materials like extra copies of your resume or pen and notebook, and mimicking the interview setting. For example, if your interview will be on site, try to meet in person. If you are preparing for a virtual interview, set up a video or phone meeting. And if possible, record your mock interview so that you can review it to see how confidently you've shared your experience and skills. And now, for the bonus tip I mentioned at the beginning of the video, convey confidence in what you say and do. Pay attention to how you present yourself with body language and voice tone to ensure that you're coming across confident, poised, and ready for the role. And if you're really interested in taking a critical look at how you're demonstrating confidence, try to record and review your mock interview. However, more often than not, confidence comes down to mindset. Remember, An interview isn't a one-way street. You are interviewing the employer just as much as they are interviewing you. Plus, the built-in benefits of thorough preparation, it empowers you to walk into the room assured of your unique value. So there you have it. To recap, advice for preparing an interview includes research the company, job description, and interviewer. Practice answering common interview questions. Prepare 2 to 3 questions of your own. Consider your day of presentation. Conduct a mock interview. Convey confidence in what you say and do. So that's how you can prepare for an interview. And I hope you found this information helpful and that you are able to apply it to your interview prep or pass it along to someone else who needs it. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time.